They told you beauty fades with time, that attraction belongs to youth, that being desired has an expiration date. But here's the truth no one talks about: a woman who has lived, learned, healed, and grown doesn't lose her power with age, she sharpens it. And today, I want to show you the undeniable signs that prove you are not past your prime. You are becoming the woman everyone notices, remembers, and deeply respects. Being comfortable being alone is one of the most misunderstood signs of attraction. People often mistake it for loneliness, when in truth it is the exact opposite. It is fullness, it is self-trust. It is the quiet knowing that your worth does not increase or decrease based on who is sitting beside you. A woman who is comfortable alone has already made peace with herself, and that peace changes the way the world responds to her. She does not rush to fill silence. She does not panic at empty evenings or quiet weekends. She knows how to sit with her thoughts without trying to escape them. She has learned that solitude is not a punishment but a privilege, a space where she reconnects with who she really is. And that relationship with herself becomes the foundation for every other relationship in her life. When a woman is comfortable being alone, she stops choosing people out of fear. She no longer dates to avoid emptiness. She no longer stays in conversations, situations, or relationships that drain her just because she is afraid of starting over. Instead, she chooses connection from desire, not desperation, and that distinction is everything. Because people can feel the difference between someone who wants them and someone who needs them to survive. This comfort creates a powerful kind of attraction, not loud, not performative, but grounded. Her presence feels steady. She listens fully, not anxiously. She laughs freely, not to impress. She allows moments to unfold naturally instead of forcing chemistry. And paradoxically, by not trying to be chosen, she becomes deeply desirable. Men sense this immediately. They feel it in the way she doesn't chase texts, doesn't demand reassurance, doesn't collapse emotionally when things are uncertain. They feel it in the way she enjoys connection but does not cling to it. This signals emotional maturity, confidence, and self-respect, qualities that are far more attractive than youth or perfection could ever be. Being comfortable alone also means she knows her own rhythm. She enjoys her routines, her interests, her inner world. She has built a life that feels meaningful even when no one else is watching. That fullness means anyone who enters her life must add to it, not complete it, and that naturally raises her standards without her having to say a word. There is also strength in the way she handles endings. If something no longer aligns, she can walk away without drama or bitterness, not because it doesn't hurt, but because she trusts herself enough to know she will be okay. That emotional resilience makes her feel safe to be around, and safety is one of the most magnetic forces there is. This kind of woman does not fear being alone, so she does not tolerate being undervalued. She does not beg for attention or overextend herself to be liked. She understands that her time and energy are valuable, and she protects them with grace. That self-protection is not coldness. It is self-love, and perhaps most importantly, when she finally does choose someone, it is intentional. It is grounded, it is real, because she is not trying to escape loneliness. She is inviting someone into a life she already enjoys. That is why her connections feel deeper, calmer, and more meaningful. Comfort in solitude is not isolation. It is independence with warmth. It is confidence without arrogance. It is the quiet power of a woman who knows that she is enough on her own, and because of that, she becomes unforgettable in the presence of others. Setting boundaries without guilt is one of the clearest signs of a woman who truly knows her worth. It does not come from coldness or selfishness. It comes from self-respect that has been earned through experience, disappointment, and growth. A woman who has learned this no longer feels the need to explain herself endlessly or apologize for protecting her peace. She understands that her needs are valid simply because they are hers. In her younger years, she may have overextended herself. She may have said yes when she wanted to say no, stayed silent when something felt wrong, or tolerated behavior that slowly drained her spirit. But time has taught her a powerful lesson. Access to her life is not a right, it is a privilege, and that realization changes everything. When she sets a boundary, there is no anger behind it, no drama, no need to justify. It is calm, it is clear. It is steady. She does not raise her voice to be heard because she trusts that the right people will listen. And if they don't, she knows she will be fine walking away. That quiet certainty is what makes her presence so commanding. People often confuse boundaries with walls, but they are not the same. Walls are built out of fear. Boundaries are built out of clarity. She does not shut people out. She simply decides what behavior is allowed in her space. She knows what drains her and what nourishes her, and she honors that knowledge without shame. This is deeply attractive because it signals emotional maturity. Men especially feel safer around a woman who respects herself. They sense that she will not manipulate, overreact, or lose herself in a connection. They know where they stand with her. There are no games, no mixed signals, no silent resentment. Her honesty creates trust, and trust creates attraction. Setting boundaries without guilt also means she no longer confuses tolerance with kindness. She understands that being loving does not require self-sacrifice. She can be compassionate without abandoning herself. She can say no without feeling like a bad person. And she can disappoint others without betraying her own values. There is strength in the way she handles pushback. When someone questions her standards or tries to cross a line, she does not argue or defend. She simply repeats herself or removes herself. Not to punish, but to protect. That ability to remain grounded under pressure is powerful. It tells the world that she knows who she is and will not negotiate it away for approval. This kind of woman also attracts healthier relationships because her boundaries filter out the wrong people early. Those who seek control, chaos, or emotional labor without reciprocity cannot stay, and those who value respect, consistency, and mutual effort are drawn closer. Her boundaries act like a compass, guiding the right connections toward her. Perhaps the most beautiful part is that she sets boundaries with herself as well. She does not overwork to prove her worth. She does not ignore her intuition. She does not abandon her own needs for the sake of being liked. She keeps promises to herself, and that self-trust radiates outward. In the end, boundaries are not about pushing people away. They are about showing people how to treat you, and a woman who does this without guilt sends a powerful message without ever saying it out loud. She is not asking for respect. She is living in it, and that kind of self-respect is impossible to overlook. Emotional calm is not something you perform. It is something you become after you have survived storms and learned that not every wave deserves a reaction. A woman who radiates emotional calm carries herself differently. Her energy is steady, grounded, and unhurried. She does not rush to defend herself, does not escalate conflict, and does not allow other people's chaos to dictate her inner state. This calm was not born overnight. It was built through moments where she chose reflection over reaction, silence over argument, and understanding over control. She has felt strong emotions before: disappointment, heartbreak, uncertainty. But instead of letting them harden her, she allowed them to teach her. That is why her presence feels so safe. There is depth behind her calm, not emptiness. When she speaks, her words are measured. Not because she lacks passion, but because she knows the power of restraint. She listens fully instead of preparing her response. She pauses before reacting. She allows space for others to express themselves without feeling the need to interrupt or correct. And in a world addicted to noise, that kind of presence is rare. People are drawn to her because they feel understood around her. Her calm does not judge or intimidate. It invites honesty. It lowers defenses. It creates an environment where people can be themselves without fear of emotional backlash. This is especially attractive because it signals emotional intelligence and self-awareness, qualities that deepen connection far beyond surface-level attraction. Men, in particular, feel a sense of ease around a woman who radiates emotional calm. They sense that disagreements will not turn into emotional chaos, that mistakes will not be met with cruelty, that vulnerability will not be used against them. This does not mean she accepts disrespect. On the contrary, her calm makes her boundaries even clearer. She does not need to raise her voice to be firm. Her composure is the message. Emotional calm also shows in how she handles uncertainty. She does not panic when things are undefined. She allows relationships to unfold naturally rather than forcing outcomes. She trusts timing. She understands that not everything needs immediate resolution. This patience makes her energy feel expansive instead of anxious, and that is deeply magnetic. She also knows how to self-soothe. When emotions rise, she does not seek instant validation or external reassurance. She regulates herself first. She reflects, breathes, and reconnects with her center before engaging. That self-regulation is a sign of maturity and strength. It communicates that she is responsible for her emotions, not expecting others to manage them for her. There is also confidence in the way she responds to negativity. She does not take everything personally. She understands that people's reactions often reflect their own inner state. This awareness allows her to remain compassionate without absorbing what does not belong to her. She stays open without becoming overwhelmed. Her calm is not passive. It is active awareness. It allows her to choose her responses intentionally. It gives her clarity in decision-making. It keeps her aligned with her values even in challenging situations. And because she is not emotionally reactive, her actions carry weight. People listen when she speaks because her words are not diluted by drama. In the end, emotional calm is not about suppressing feelings. It is about mastering them. It is the quiet confidence of a woman who trusts herself enough to stay steady no matter what unfolds around her. And that steadiness is not only attractive, it is unforgettable. Knowing what you want and what you will not tolerate is the result of clarity earned through experience. It is not rigidity, and it is not arrogance. It is self-awareness shaped by lessons that once came with pain, confusion, or compromise. A woman who possesses this clarity moves through life with intention. She does not drift into situations hoping they will become what she needs. She chooses deliberately. She no longer mistakes potential for reality. She has learned that desire without alignment leads to disappointment. Because of this, she listens closely to actions rather than words. She trusts patterns over promises. When something feels off, she does not explain it away or silence her intuition. She respects the quiet signals within her because she knows they exist to protect her. This clarity makes her energy unmistakable. She asks honest questions. She communicates expectations early, not to control outcomes, but to honor her time and emotional investment. She does not fear being seen as too much or too selective. Because she understands that compatibility requires discernment. What is right for her will not require self-betrayal. There is power in the way she handles misalignment. When her standards are crossed, she does not argue endlessly or try to teach someone how to treat her. She does not chase closure or demand change. She simply observes, decides, and steps back. That ability to disengage without resentment is a sign of deep emotional strength.
Men feel this clarity immediately. They sense that she is not looking to be convinced, rescued, or validated.
She is evaluating from a place of self-respect. This shifts the dynamic completely. Instead of feeling pressure, they feel challenged in a healthy way. They know that access to her life must be earned through consistency, effort, and respect. Knowing what she wants also allows her to receive without guilt. She does not downplay her needs or apologize for desiring depth, commitment, or emotional availability. She knows that wanting more does not make her demanding. It makes her honest, and honesty is far more attractive than silent dissatisfaction. She is also at peace with the fact that not everyone will meet her standards, and that is okay. She does not personalize rejection or incompatibility. She understands that alignment is mutual. This maturity allows her to walk away from situations that once would have consumed her energy without drama or regret. Her clarity extends beyond relationships. It influences how she spends her time, where she places her energy, and what environments she allows herself to remain in. She chooses growth over familiarity, peace over chaos, and integrity over comfort. That alignment creates a sense of direction that others naturally respect. Perhaps most importantly, she knows what she will not tolerate because she has learned the cost of ignoring herself. She remembers what it felt like to stay too long, to explain away red flags, to settle for less than she deserved. And she has made a promise to herself not to repeat those patterns. That promise is unshakable. In the end, knowing what you want and what you won't tolerate is not about control. It is about self-honor. It is the quiet authority of a woman who trusts her judgment and stands by it. And that confidence does not push people away. It draws the right ones closer while letting the rest fall away naturally. When you stop chasing attention, something remarkable happens. You begin to move differently. Your energy shifts from reaching outward to settling inward, and that shift is impossible to ignore. A woman who does not chase attention is not indifferent or detached. She is simply anchored. She knows who she is, and she no longer needs to prove it to anyone. In her earlier years, she may have tried harder to be noticed. She may have adjusted her tone, softened her truth, or made herself more convenient to stay relevant. But time has refined her. She has learned that attention gained through effort is fragile, while attention drawn through authenticity is lasting. So she stops performing and starts being. She no longer speaks just to fill silence. When she talks, it carries intention. When she listens, it carries presence. She is not scanning the room for approval or validation. She is fully where she is. And presence like that is rare. People feel it immediately, even if they cannot explain why they are drawn to her. This kind of woman does not advertise her value. She does not compete for the spotlight or demand to be chosen. She allows others to discover her naturally. That sense of self-containment creates intrigue. People lean in because she is not reaching out. Curiosity replaces convenience. Interest deepens because it is not forced. Men are particularly affected by this energy. They sense that she is not chasing them, not trying to impress, not reshaping herself to fit expectations. That absence of pursuit creates space for genuine effort on their part. They step forward not because they are pressured, but because they are interested. And interest that arises freely is far more powerful than interest driven by persuasion. Not chasing attention also means she is selective about where she invests her energy. She does not entertain mixed signals or breadcrumbs. She does not chase potential or overanalyze silence. She observes, assesses, and responds only when there is mutual effort. This discernment communicates self-respect without her having to say a word. There is also calm in the way she receives attention when it comes. She does not cling to it or fear losing it. Compliments do not inflate her, and indifference does not diminish her. She receives praise with grace and moves on. That emotional steadiness keeps attention circulating around her rather than burning out quickly. People trust her because she does not manipulate perception. She does not exaggerate posture or pretend. What you see is what you get, and in a world saturated with performance, authenticity becomes magnetic. Others feel safe to be real around her because she is real with herself. This energy extends beyond romantic attraction. It influences friendships, professional spaces, and social environments. Leaders notice her. Conversations shift when she enters the room. Not because she demands it, but because her presence feels grounded and intentional. Attention follows alignment. The most powerful part is that she is not attached to being noticed. If attention fades, she does not chase it back. She returns to herself. She continues living her life, pursuing her interests, honoring her values. And ironically, it is this detachment that draws attention again. People are drawn to those who are not dependent on them. In the end, not chasing attention is an act of self-trust. It is the quiet confidence of a woman who knows that what is meant for her will recognize her without pursuit. And when attention finds her, it is not fleeting. It is focused, intentional, and real because it was drawn, not chased. Valuing yourself when no one is watching is the deepest form of self-respect. It is easy to perform confidence in front of an audience, to appear strong when validation is present. But true worth is revealed in the quiet moments, in the choices you make when there is no applause, no recognition, and no one to impress. A woman who values herself in private carries a strength that cannot be shaken in public. She honors her standards even when compromising would be easier. She keeps promises to herself even when breaking them would go unnoticed. She rests when she needs to, walks away when something feels wrong, and speaks kindly to herself when no one else can hear. These private acts of integrity shape her identity far more than any outward achievement ever could. This woman does not measure her value by attention, productivity, or external success. She understands that worth is not something to be earned daily. It is something to be protected consistently. Because of this, she does not overwork to prove herself, nor does she neglect her needs to meet expectations. She lives from a place of self-trust, not self-judgment. There is discipline in the way she treats herself. She chooses environments that support her growth. She limits what drains her. She is mindful of what she consumes emotionally, mentally, and physically. These decisions are not driven by perfection, but by care. She understands that self-respect is expressed through everyday habits, not grand gestures. When she makes mistakes, she does not punish herself with shame. She reflects, learns, and adjusts. She knows that growth requires compassion. This gentle accountability allows her to evolve without losing her sense of self. It is this balance of strength and kindness that makes her presence so grounding to others. People sense this inner alignment even if they cannot name it. They feel it in the way she does not tolerate disrespect, yet remains warm, in the way she does not seek approval, yet remains open, in the way she carries herself with quiet dignity rather than performance. Her self-value creates a baseline of respect that others naturally rise to. Men are drawn to this quality because it signals emotional stability. They know she will not abandon herself to keep them, nor will she expect them to fill an internal void. She meets them as an equal, whole, and grounded. This creates space for real connection rather than dependency. Valuing herself also means she does not betray her values for comfort or convenience. She may choose the harder path if it aligns with her truth. She may be misunderstood at times, but she remains at peace because she knows she is being honest with herself. That inner peace becomes her anchor. In solitude, she treats herself with the same respect she expects from others. She nourishes her mind, protects her energy, and honors her emotions without suppression or indulgence. She is her own safe place, and because she is not at war with herself, she does not create chaos in her relationships. Ultimately, valuing yourself when no one is watching is about living in integrity with who you are. It is the quiet confidence of a woman who knows her worth without needing it reflected back to her. And that self-respect does not fade, it deepens with time, shaping a presence that is calm, powerful, and undeniably attractive.